So here with this segment here, we're going to go back into the past just a little bit. What we're going to do is I found, by the way, I'm on a kick right now because I used to be a big collector in Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine, the Wrestler magazine, the almanacs, all that other stuff. I used to I used to read all these magazines, and I absolutely fell in love with the literature of professional wrestling many, many moons ago. And I stumbled upon one of my old almanacs. And although it is the almanac of 2006, that is only because it was released in January of '06. It is for the year of 2005. I actually have the book right here in front of me. I sent you some of the snapshots of the topic here. The almanacs used to be completely done with different articles. So it starts off with the 10 biggest news stories of 2005. After that, it goes into a year in review. So anything huge that happened, like for instance, January 3rd, January 4th, January 9th. It goes throughout the year of big moments that happened. What is this random ass picture of Bryan Danielson right here? Oh, it was a big title defense. Then it does year in ratings. It does the PWI 500. It actually lists statistics of the wrestler. Like, for instance, right here, John Cena, 6'3", 260 pounds, West Newbury, Massachusetts, debuted professionally in 2001, and his birthday is April 23rd. Nice. No year, though, because he's a woman and didn't give his year. Then we have, this was the biggest thing for me. We have title histories in here. So, WWE Championships, WCW Championships, TNA Championships, Ring of Honor Championships, IWGP, Pro Wrestling Noah, and then this was huge for me too, Pro Wrestling Cards. These are all the super cards from WWE, WCW, all the way through. Some of the earlier ones hold the ECW information in it, and year after year it changes up. So, I have in front of me 2005, and what I wanted to do real quick on the show is I wanted to go over the 10 biggest news stories of 2005. So I'm going to open up this here. This is 20 years ago this happened. I don't think it's in any particular order. I think it's just 10. If I'm not mistaken. Maybe I should go in reverse. You think I should go 1 through 10 or 10 to 1?
I think you do looking at them, yeah.
Which one? I said two things.
In reverse, yes. And I think you should go in reverse. You asked, should I go in reverse? And I said yes.
Oh, okay. So, number 10 on the list, it's labeled to DVD or not to DVD. That was the question. So, this was the year that the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD was released, which I know you probably don't know too much about that DVD, but I'll tell you this. It's infamous in wrestling history because it's the first DVD that they put together that was a hit piece. This wasn't a DVD of, wow, what a career, what a great man, what a memory. It was, what a piece of shit the Ultimate Warrior is.
Like one of those, like, you could equivalent it to, like, a YouTube video now that is, like, the downfall of X person.
Yes, absolutely. This might have been the beginning of the genre, for all I know.
Damn, but it was in the book?
Yeah, this was fucking crazy. Because they didn't advertise it like a hit piece. They advertised it like, you know, enjoy the life and times of, because he wasn't dead yet, but they were like, let's look back on the career of the Ultimate Warrior and blah, blah, blah. And then when you watch the DVD, the people who are in the DVD was like, yeah, what a giant piece of shit he was. He held up the company for money, and he was such a dick, and he would yell at kids in the airports. They were like, God damn, did he kick over the old ladies or kill any cats? Right. For fuck's sake. They they tore this fucking man apart in this DVD. So I was like, God damn. This DVD was fucking everywhere. And that's kind of expounding more on some of the DVD projects, especially since there was such a long line of successful DVDs. The Rise and Fall of ECW, which we now know led to the beginning of One Night Stand. Screwed, the Bret Hart story. They put out a Bret Hart DVD, and even that wasn't fucking inflammatory towards them. And this is before they made up This was about I want to say about 3 years before they actually made up. So this was fucking amazing to watch as a kid or as a teenager, I guess you could say. It was fucking hilarious. Number 9, Brock Lesnar and WWE exchange legal threats. So this was before everything got all figured out. This is when he was doing the Minnesota Vikings and he was trying to be a football player, and he started. I don't think he got into UFC just yet. This was fresh off of leaving WWE. There was a legal situation because Lesnar, when he left WWE, he had left under the condition that he was going to try pro sports. But he immediately left WWE and immediately went into the hands of New Japan and became the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. And that caused a problem because they released him in good faith. It was like, okay, I'm going to go do sports now. They said, okay, go do sports. He's like, psych, I'm going to Japan to do some wrestling. So they're like, oh, no, you got me, you son of a bitch. You lied to me. And that's pretty much what the fuck went down. Lesnar, I'm ready for it now. The former WWE Undisputed Champion told the Bismarck Tribune, with the lawsuit and everything going on, I just hope we can resolve this thing and Vince can open his doors to me and just give me a second chance. And he did. This was done in 2005. He wouldn't get that second chance again until 2010. But they had some issues. They had some issues. They worked it out. It is what it is. Number 8, WWE storylines, a matter of taste. This was the Muhammad Hassan story. They just did this on Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that one where they like deliberately made him the champion so that Hogan could win because of the war that was happening?
No, that's Sergeant Slaughter. That's 2 decades before this one. But this,
No?
they didn't make him. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was the one who was they made him the champion just to. They made him even though he was a white guy from here, and his gimmick was the
no,
American
dude.
hero.
The Dark Side of the Ring, Vince deliberately said there was controversy going on in the Middle East,
Yes.
so he put the belt on him.
No, he
never had drop the belt.
He never had the belt.
Then I'm thinking of a different person.
I just said who you were thinking of. It was Sergeant Slaughter.
Are you gonna make me look it up? All right, you go ahead. You talk about it. You go.
But okay, so it was the Muhammad Hassan story. This was the guy who was in OVW. He was an Italian from Syracuse, New York, and then he got called up to the main roster, and they made him a Muslim sympathizer. This is the dude who they tried to behead The Undertaker on SmackDown, and the London bombings took place by, I'm not going to say Al-Qaeda. It was somebody, I can't remember. Maybe it's in here as to who did the actual fucking bombing, but it was a whole ordeal. He was already kind of tiptoeing over the line, and then when the bombing happened, the gimmick was just no good. They couldn't do anything with it. For whatever reason, they never repackaged him. They just fired him outright. So, like, he was doing really, really good in developmental, and then he got called up. They gave him this ridiculous gimmick. He did exactly what they wanted him to do, and then when the heat became too much, they just fired him altogether. So, kind of fucking crazy. You're really looking this up right now.
Oh, don't you worry. You keep going. and to correct myself, because this might help, it wasn't the Dark Side of the Ring. It was the McMahon documentary.
Oh, so we're definitely talking about Sergeant Slaughter then.
Yes.
Yes, it's Sergeant Slaughter. You can keep Googling if you want. It's Sergeant Slaughter. So
I thought now I'm going to keep going. You do your thing.
Number 7, Black Monday, a dark day in WWE. The only reason it was called, let me explain it here. 20 stars were sent to the unemployment line. They included Bubba Ray Dudley, Devon Dudley, Spike Dudley, Billy Kidman, Kenzo Suzuki, Hiroko, Charlie Haas, Jackie Gata, Marty Jannetty, Mark Jindrak, Dawn Marie, Matt Morgan, Maven, Shannon Moore, Akio, Gangrel, Kevin Furtig or Mordecai, Ivory, Joy Giovanni, and Mark Lloyd. This, I'm assuming they called it Black Monday because this was the first of many post. I think it happens now after WrestleMania. I think this might have happened. What was the day it gave? July? This happened in July, so this was about midway through the year. This was the beginning of the annual tradition of the wrestling roster purge, where they just start cutting talent out, sending them home, and giving them something else to fucking do. They can't. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you can't stay here. This was the cuts. A lot of them found work after, but this was, Black Monday to them was the beginning of the end for some of those contracts. Did you find what you was looking for?
No, I'm listening. You're good.
Okay, you're still gonna fucking try to find this. Number 6.
The problem is no. See, but hold on, because the issue is that it was like episode 1, and it was like halfway through or some shit, and YouTube's not giving it to me. I don't know how to fucking search it. Like, I don't know what to say specifically to guys. So don't you worry about that. It may come after this, but God damn it, you're gonna get it. Pause.
Well, if it helps you at all, Muhammad Hassan and Hulk Hogan are from different eras. Hulk Hogan never wrestled Muhammad Hassan. They fought.
I'm thinking of a different person, but they definitely ran a Middle East angle, where they deliberately put the belt on someone. Damn, I'm so mad I can't remember his name right now.
Just fucking Google Sergeant Slaughter and you'll see it. It's right there. He was an Iraqi sympathizer. He won the championship at the Royal Rumble, proceeded to cut promos for the other country for 2 straight months. Then they had the blow off in Los Angeles where Hogan beat him for the belt.
Okay, you are correct.
I know I'm correct.
Until I find what the fuck I'm looking for.
I'm taking this to the grave. Number 6, probably the greatest night of my entire life. I will never forget this night for as long as I live. I had actual tears. WWE's One Night Stand with ECW. This was the ECW One Night Stand show, 2005, in New York at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Did not go to the show because of low funds, but we did get together at our friend's house, couple brews, couple you-know-whats, living it up, enjoying a full fucking night. And the beautiful thing about this night, one of the most beautiful things about this is my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, had never seen anything involving ECW ever. And I remember before the show, it was a WWE event. So we didn't know how close to the ECW vibe they were going to get. So it's a whole room full of people. You know most of them. Etsy and Brandon. I'm saying names into the ether. People don't know who I'm talking about. But these were close personal friends of mine. We got a whole living room full of fucking the closest friends, just wrestling fanatics. My girlfriend is there. A couple of other girlfriends were there. It's a happening, right? We're already drinking pre-show. This is going to be crazy. And they do all these packages, and then we get to the first match. First match is Lance Storm and Dawn Marie, the returning Dawn Marie, and Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho, they gave him his WWE theme, because they couldn't use the ECW theme. It was copyright. But they gave him the Break the Walls Down. And when he came out in his original ECW tights with the jacket, and he came out as Lionheart, Chris Jericho, and we all looked at everybody who was in that room who was experiencing this for the first time and just went, oh shit, welcome to ECW, bitch. This is going to be a ride. And it was one of the greatest pay-per-views I've ever seen to this day. It's been 20 years, and no pay-per-view has matched emotionally, with the exception of maybe a few WrestleManias, but that was because I was there, so it's a different vibe. But that was a great fucking night. Number 5, you're still looking.
This is you, brother. I don't fucking know this shit. You read this on the shitter. I was playing video games when you were looking at this almanac. I don't know what you want from me.
You don't have any memories of any of this so far?
I mean, yes. I remember as you lived your life, yeah.
As you lived your life. Okay, number 5, TNA's talent influx. This is when a lot of the WWE people and former WCW people started heading over to TNA. We've got Sting, Rhino, Christian Cage. There was a long list. The next year after this, in 2006, they would end up getting Kurt Angle. There was some game-changing decisions that were done in TNA around this time. So it was a really good growth period for TNA was 2005. Yet to hit their stride, but they're getting there. Number 4, WWE replaces Jim Ross with Joey Styles. That was bittersweet. I didn't know how to feel at that time. Jim Ross was a very important person in my wrestling life at that time as a fan, but Joey Styles was the emotional pick. Like, to this day, I wish I could be more like Joey on the microphone. We're talking 1A, 1B for me, personally, as commentators. They're fighting for first place. Number 3, Raw returns home to the USA Network. Doesn't mean shit now, but at that time, that was a pretty big fucking deal. When they left for TNN and replaced ECW as that wrestling program. Number 2, TNA makes an impact on Spike TV. TNA finally on television, still in that small-ass Universal Studios building, which I was in only the one time, but it was still a good time. I was completely inebriated. It was a good time to be in there. Florida, get out of the Florida sun, get into this building and enjoy some wrestling. That was a good time. And the number one story of 2005, the news story that almost broke me as a human being. The death of Eddie Guerrero that took place in November. He died unfortunately passed in his hotel room. It's not entirely certain if it was either in his sleep or if he was up and then suffered. It's uncertain as to whether or not he felt that heart attack. He had a heart attack, essentially, and he passed away. And the person who told me about it, because I didn't see it yet. The person who told me about it was Steph. Steph called me, and Steph called me from Mexico. She was in Mexico. She was on a girls' trip in Mexico with her and her friends, and she always loved to tell this part of the story that when you're traveling internationally back in those days, folks, you had to turn off your roaming data, because if you don't, you get charged international fees. The bills go up. So she turned off the roaming data while she was in Mexico until she found out about Eddie. She found out because she's in Mexico, right? So that word traveled very, very fast. So she turned on the roaming data, and she took the charges to call me to let me know Eddie Guerrero had passed. It was a difficult time for me. I wept like a baby. Wept like a child. I wept for Owen, I wept for Eddie, and I wept for Chris Benoit for about a day. And then and then the other stuff came out, and I wasn't so worried about it anymore. But yeah, so those were the top stories of 2005.